KGBL calling caller 14 Adam. 14 Adam, come in.
Go ahead, KGPL.
14 Adam, see the detective. Unit 16 William requests uniformed assistance for an evidence search. 14 Adam, code 2.
Roger, 14 Adam en route.
Here we go again. I got to my office, only to find a letter shoved under the door. If what is in this letter is true, we have a very big problem. I'm praying that this is all false, but if my instincts are correct, there's a lot of truth to this. Once again, we're going to have to ask questions. This is Kevin O'Keefe. You might know him as the young and up-and-coming labor leader in Local 46. He runs a Toys for Tots for Christmas event and helps with the organization of the softball tournament for battling addiction. On the surface, he is exactly what Local 46 needs, but the reality may have you asking yourself, is that really true? Here are just a few of the tidbits over the last couple of years that might have you scratching your head. On a trip not too long ago, in which he traveled to Michigan for union business, he was planning on taking a red-eye flight out of New York. Typically, when you are away on union business, your meals and expenses are paid for upon your return. Prior to taking that flight out, he went to a restaurant with his wife in which the bill was just over $200. Upon coming back home, he tried to expense that meal as part of the travel costs. The restaurant was in Yonkers and not in Michigan. He was told that he couldn't expense the meal. Shocker. He's also been known to get a little out of hand when consuming a tad bit too much alcohol. In fact, on a trip to Washington, D.C., he was so incoherent that he actually embarrassed Local 46 in front of the international representatives.
You know, I get calls from back home every fucking day. They think you went batshit.
He's made a career off of saying as little as possible, while allowing his previous achievements to get him where he is today, because everyone knows he's the smartest guy in the room, until he gets about 30 seconds into a conversation.
The White House Reception Committee greeted the prime rib roast minister, and I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl. I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. And
let's not forget about the softball game last summer that was designed for battling addiction. We all know what took place there. Let's also not forget about the whole Count Me In movement. Hell, he's Mr. Megaphone. He was at the forefront of the fight from day one. When we started the picket line, you would find him at a rally getting the troops fired up in the crowd. Anything to be seen, right? But when the International showed up at our doorstep, just prior to forcing us to cross the picket line, he distanced himself so far away from that movement, it would have made your head spin. And remember nomination night in 2017?
Surprise, motherfuckers!
On that evening, Kevin was nominated for vice president. But what you more than likely don't know is the 2-month period leading up to that evening. Kevin spent most of that summer trying to be named an instructor at the school for the upcoming fall semester. I asked myself, why? Because of exposure, apprentices become journeymen, and journeymen eventually vote. And secondly, it was something he could put into that campaign letter that he mailed you. Did you forget? But to be an instructor over at the school, he made a deal with a shot, he would be granted his teacher position. But in the end, he had to remain on the executive board for one more term and not seek a higher office. We all know what transpired from there.
Your fucking warrant don't ever go over my fucking head again, you motherfucker, you.
How could a serviceman, a man ingrained in tradition and values, go back on his word? Doesn't that say something about his character? Let's also not forget about his most recent transgressions just 3 short weeks ago. He quit his job working for Pinnacle on perhaps the largest high-rise project in the city right now. A break in work was supposed to take place for about a month, and hell, it's Kevin O'Keefe. He can't be out of work. So he solicited his own work with over 180 guys that are unemployed themselves. Guys who are at the hall every day. He found a nice landing spot with Atlantic reinforcing over at the Atlantic Yards in Brooklyn. Shit. Why the hell would he spend all day at the hall? He called a business agent to inform them. He was told to come to the hall and sit with the men. His response was, "I understand where you're coming from, but I think I have the situation under control. I think I'm going to just go straight down there."
Nikki, when you asked me if you could come out here, what did I tell you? I mean, you asked me, and I knew you were going to come out no matter what I said, but what did I tell you? Do you remember what I told you?
Back
Do you remember what I told you?
Back up a fucking minute here. 1 minute. I asked you, when the fuck did I ever ask you if I could come out here?
Some folk would die for the sake of another. Lay down their life for their sisters and brothers. For me, sacrifice is something quite other. 'Cause I love to kill.